स्वागत छ दर्शकहरूलाई कार्यक्रम हिमालय विशेषमा म रोहन श्रेष्ठ। हिमालय विशेषको आजको यस श्रृङ्खलामा आजको यस घडीमा हामी भर्खरै मात्रै बजारमा लन्च भएको बुक ब्रान्ड सूत्रको बारेमा कुराकानी गर्न गइरहेका छौं। ब्रान्ड सूत्रका लेखक र एडिटर आज हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँहरूको बारेमा बताउनु पर्दाखेरि ब्रान्ड सूत्रका लेखक हुनुहुन्छ उजय शाक्य, त्यस्तै गरेर एडिटर हुनुहुन्छ प्रोफेसर उज्जवल कुमार चौधरी र उहाँ डिन हुनुहुन्छ एमिटी युनिभर्सिटी इन्डियाको। उहाँहरू दुवैजनालाई स्वागत गरौँ। स्वागत छ यहाँहरू दुवैजनालाई।
Thank you very much.
We will be using both the language.
Sure. Very good.
English as well as Nepali.
Right.
First of all, I want to come to Ujaya Shakya sir. Tell us something about the book. Your book ko बारेमा अलिकति केही बताइदिनुस् हाम्रो दर्शकको लागि. What motivated you to write this book?
Okay, मेरो writing career को कुरा गर्ने हो भने it's been like around 4-5 years that I've started writing for some of the national dailies, off and on. That's how I started, and generally I write on advertising and marketing and branding area. And then like some 2 years back, the Himalayan Times, we had a discussion to start a specific column which was to do with brand, advertising and marketing. Therefore, that's where I started a regular, brand and advertising column called Brand Basis, and that's how actually, the initiation of this book took place, and that's how the confidence also increased on me to think that we can come out with a book.
Branding को लागि चाहिँ यो पहिलो बुकै हुन्छ है हाम्रो नेपाली बजार नेपाली मार्केटको।
मैले बुझेसम्म नेपाली कन्टेक्स्टमा चाहिँ नि नेपाली प्रोफेसनलले लेखेको यो पहिलो नै किताब होला।
It's very thick. Can you please highlight some of the content of the book?
Okay, generally like I said, यसको चाहिँ दायरा चाहिँ advertising, branding र marketing related छ. This should be helpful for people who are currently pursuing career in advertising, marketing, or a student who want to have a career in advertising and marketing.
So this is the overall content.
Yeah, and branding as well. Yeah.
Ujjwal sir, you have been writing, you have been editing the book.
Yeah.
You edited the book.
Right.
Can you please share something, though he has highlighted some of the content of the book, can you please highlight some of your experience with the book while editing?
Thank you, Rohanji. First of all, I would like to show the audience the look of the book. This is
Ujaya
the book.
Shakya's
Ujaya Brand Sutra.
Edited by Professor Ujjwal Kumar Chowdhury.
My job was just like a doctor or a nurse. The mother is Ujaya, the product is here, the child is here. So I just worked as a small-time doctor or nurse, making some amendments here and there. And the best part, according to me, about this book is it's in very simple language. It's in a language that every person, whether the person is an expert in media marketing, advertising, or someone is a learner, can simply very easily understand. That's the first thing. Second thing, it looks at 360 degree, the entire domain of branding in 360 degree. Simple. What is a brand? Brand is a journey of a product produced in a factory or a service rendered by a service provider to the mind of the consumer. This whole journey is branding.
That is something, a specific definition of branding.
That journey is branding. Now, what do you do in this? So, you encircle your customer from all 360 degrees. You do events to create experiences. You touch the customer from digital medium. You touch him from the offline medium of newspapers, from on-air medium of television and radio. So, you create a aura, 360 degree aura of the brand. The good part of this book, again, there is one rare example of brand book where almost all examples or cases are of Nepali origin. So, a reader can actually associate, can relate to each of these examples. You will be astonished, there are some very unique concepts. Like in Nepal, Sherpa in Nepal is a very crucial part of Nepali adventure, as you know, adventure mountaineering and all that. Recently this film Everest is going on, Sherpas are there. So in concept of branding, a brand can be a Sherpa brand. Now when a brand becomes Sherpa? And which other brands who are the adventure seekers is that Sherpa brand leading? This is answered here very beautifully. Simple language. I will not tell you, let the audience find it. Second, we all know a brand is recognizable through color, logo. That's a visual brand. But do you think a brand can be recognized through sound, through touch, feel, through taste, Now this also can be done. Now there is a pancha tattva of branding, 5 different senses.
5 different, definitely.
Now this has been
Panchatattva.
exemplified with examples of Nepal. Then there are concepts like clients and agency. Agency is the sort of custodian who participates in the branding, and client is the owner of the brand. Now how do you really create a synergy between client and the agency? Client tends to consider the agency as just a vendor. I give you an order, you give me a product. It's not so simple, because it is the agency's strategy that is helping the client's brand. Ujjwal ji explains in Nepali
the relationship
context,
between the agency and the client.
in Nepali context.
I want to go to the Nepali context.
Yes.
How? What is the relation between agency and the client?
Like Professor just pointed out, a lot of time, a lot of these clients that we have, they feel that we're just a vendor, right? Therefore, we are supposed to deliver things that they ask us to deliver. But in real advertising world, the advertising agency is supposed to be a brand custodian.
Right.
You know, when you are a brand custodian, you are actually responsible for the whole brand story. Because I feel that brand is nothing but a story. You know, like
It's a very important point. If you could also explain that in Nepali, how brand story is
एकदमै
also
नेपालीबाट थोरै बताइदिनु भने हाम्रो आम दर्शकहरूले पनि
कसरी हामी के भन्छौँ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ ब्रान्डिङ भनेको चाहिँ केही पनि होइन, किनभने कमोडिटीलाई नै ब्रान्डिङ गर्ने हो. आज हामीले हेऱ्यौँ भने चामल छ, सल्ट पनि छ, नुन पनि ब्रान्डिङ गरेर भएर आएको छ अवस्था छ. त्यो अवस्थामा हामीले के गर्न खोज्छौँ भन्दा एउटा एडभर्टाइजिङ एजेन्सी, एउटा ब्रान्ड कस्टिडियन भएर चाहिँ नि हामीले एउटा कथावस्तु प्रस्तुत गर्ने हो. एउटा लक्षित समूहलाई हेरिकन त्यो लक्षित समूहले त्यो कथा आफूलाई चित्त बुझाएर लियो भने उसलाई त्यो ब्रान्डसँग अझै नजिक नजिक हुँदै जान्छ क्या. त्यस भएकोले त्यो कथा
भनेको के हो, खासमा के हो, र एउटा प्रोडक्टको लागि इम्पोर्टेन्स अफ ब्रान्डिङ के छ?
ब्रान्ड भनेको नथिङ बट इट्स इन द माइन्ड अफ द पिपल. द्याट्स व्हाट आई फिल, यु नो.
A journey, as you said.
Journey is the process.
Yeah, journey is a process, but actually it's in the mind of the people. Therefore, it's a perception that people get while using or feeling that product. You know, therefore the perception can be different at different occasions. Like for example, तपाईं एकदम ह्याप्पी मुडमा हुनुहुन्छ भने त्यो ब्रान्डको पर्सेप्सन त्यस्तै खालको तपाईलाई आउन सक्छ. तपाईं स्याड मुडमा हुनुहुन्छ भने त्यसको पर्सेप्सन त्यस्तै खालको आउन सक्छ के. Therefore, perception keeps on changing. It's a very subjective matter. You know, and it could be different for different kind of people. You know, that's why there is segmentation in branding, right? And that's how the branding is also done, taking consideration of certain segments of target audiences. Therefore, what I feel is branding is nothing but a perception, you know, perception that you can make in the mindset of the people.
This perception you can create through a multiplicity of communication means. But whatever is your means, whether it's a online means of
What
digital.
is its importance for the product?
Yes, product is a physical product. As he has rightly said, it's made in a factory. Service is a person's delivery of service. But what the customer thinks about that product, what is the promise that he believes in, is the brand.
What about Panchatattva's relation with branding?
Anything you can recognize a brand through a visual. So eyes work there. If you can recognize with sound, there are certain music. I mean, once upon a time there was this Liril brand, soap, and there was a famous tune. Exactly, la 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 la. So that was a sound.
Sonic branding.
Sonic branding.
Okay.
Even without actually seeing the brand, only the sound would have told you. Similarly, you can have through feeling.
Even the television station sound might be the brand of a television station.
Very well.
See, you might be in a toilet, you know, like,
Right.
and the TV is running, and then you hear a music, and then you know that this is a particular
channel
station
is running.
or a particular brand, you know, like that's sonic branding.
Now, we won't explain, both of us. The same thing can be with taste. Taste
Yeah.
can be with touch, feel.
No,
So there are different brands.
The KFC store that we have
That is
a
due
taste
to
branding.
taste
You know?
branding, definitely.
You know, you go to a KFC in Delhi, New York, London,
The
or
taste is
Kathmandu.
same.
It's supposed to be same.
Even the name not told, by tasting you can tell it's KFC. But
Definitely,
don't give
that's
the other
KFC.
example. Let the audience find the examples of the other aspects. So the point is very easy to say that branding is done by a logo, but it's much beyond logo, going beyond logo. It has to create a promise in the minds of the people. Nokia connecting people. Now people have started believing that Nokia actually connects. Airtel, express yourself. People have started believing in it. If you ask even a small girl, 14, 15-year-old, what is the beauty soap? Automatically she will say Lux. Who told? All the soaps do the same job or similar job, but people believe that it's only Lux which is the beauty soap or Lifebuoy which is the health soap. This promise is actually communicated through branding.
I want to know something from Ujjwal sir. In Nepal को परिप्रेक्ष्यमा चाहिँ ब्रान्डिङ प्रतिको अथवा चाहिँ ब्रान्ड कन्सियस कन्ज्युमर भन्दा पनि अलिकति बिजनेस पिपलहरु हैन त्यसैगरी एन्टरप्रेन्योर्सहरुमा कस्तो रहेको छ?
You mean like from a business perspective or as a consumption
from the business perspective,
not from the consumption perspective?
No, not from the consumption perspective, but we will come to that as well.
Okay, like generally aileko generation of entrepreneurs, I suppose they become very conscious about branding, you know, and we are learning in the process, and that is the reason now you see, you know, like a lot of these approach that is being taking place in all different categories. Like I pointed out in the beginning itself, अहिले हामीले चामल किन्न जान्छौं भने पनि it's not just a loose चामल that we purchase. It's a 5 kilo, you know, like bag, branded some ABC or XYZ, right? That's what we go and purchase. Therefore, I see that that consciousness has already come, you know, but we have there is still a challenge to this market where there is a misconception that a lot of time, like he pointed out, they feel that the logo or identity itself is a branding. Or if you just do advertisement in a TV or a newspaper, then that's branding.
Branding is something beyond.
Yeah, branding is beyond advertising. Branding is beyond creating just a logo. You know. Therefore, like that is all what is actually explained in this book.
What about consumers?
From a consumer perspective, it becomes more important because it actually helps them to make a decision. You know, different. Like I said, every brand is actually targeted to certain Lachit Sammo, like
Lachit Barga,
Lachit Barga, yeah, Lachit Sammo, yeah, target audience that we call it, right? Therefore, each target audience has its own perception in terms of type of product they want to use, type of feelings that they want to have when they use that product, and kind of money they want to pay for that particular uses of that product, right? Therefore, depending upon like it's a mix, it's a marketing mix that we use to create a brand in terms of price, in terms of kind of promotion that we might be doing, kind of packaging that we might be doing, kind of, you know, the product that we might be putting forward, you know, like that is how it should be.
What is the significance of this book in the South Asian region, or let's say in the, you know?
Got it. The book contains several chapters apart from experts of this region, South Asian, Southeast Asian region, expressing their comments, their observations from the book. Okay, South Asian. The examples which are here are in largely South Asian context. And the South Asian context are very similar. There are economic differences among the South Asian nations, but culturally and also people's belief system wise, there are a lot of similarities between India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, this area. And therefore, the examples and the concepts that are included here are relevant in this segment or in this region, both for practitioners and for students. The both categories of, and therefore you will find when the observations are being given, I have the pleasure of even telling, for example, Srinivasan Swami, he is IIA India chapter head. Then you have Sridhar Pops, who is another Leo Barnett's former creative director, and then Kaushik Roy. He is president of brand strategy of Reliance. So there have been even Gitiara Safia Chowdhury from Bangladesh. She is a stalwart of advertising in Bangladesh. Lara Balsara, executive director of Madison World, and there are many more. Sharif Rangnekar, who is one of the PR stalwarts of Asia. You know, they have actually expressed their observations, views on how this book will be useful to young professionals and those who are learning branding. Fundamentals in very simple language. So, and you know, today entire BE school education is based on books written from USA and UK, with a rare few examples of maybe Australia and Canada, but largely American and the British books. It's high time that books written by scholars of this particular region, South Asia, with examples of this region, Nepal examples, India examples, Bangladesh examples, they should come out. Because after all, my MBA, BBA student will not be working with Harley Davidson, they would be working with Bajaj and Kinetic of the world.
Definitely.
They would not be working for a food product like Americana. They will be working with Rompom and
So
YY.
they should know their land. They should know their grassroots.
Their market, their land, their audiences, their preferences. You know, there is a chapter on Dasai Bazaar. How does Dasai Bazaar dominates the branding in this country?
I want to know more about Dasai Bazaar.
Yeah.
How does it dominates?
Actually, you know, like if you see the Dasai as a festival, you know, like actually it's also the beginning of other festivals like
Yeah.
Bihar and Chhat and all the lot of festivals that we have in this country, you know. Therefore, if you really see generally the business that the companies does, particularly with regard to automobiles and, you know, like white goods like mobile, consumer durables like TV, refrigerators, you know, the household items. I feel that it's almost 40% of what business they do in the whole
Year.
year, you know, like. Therefore, it's a very, very important season, and that's the reason, you know, like there is a lot of things that is being done at that point of time. Yeah.
While talking about branding or brand name, it is believed that a brand name is just for the high-class people, or it is not for the general public. There is such kind of sentiment. Do you buy it or not?
Not at all. There are certain products which are targeted to specific target audiences. A salt brand or a chawal brand could be a mass brand. It could be a mass brand. A particular shoe brand could be a mass brand. And there could be a class brand also.
YY is a big example.
YY is a big example of a mass brand. In fact, Nirvan Chowdhury, MD CG Group, also has his foreword here in this book. And he speaks about how YY has been branded and how this knowledge that has been encapsulated in this book by Ujjay is useful in the context of the mass brands of Nepal, understanding the mass brands of Nepal. So, there are brands which are for masses, there are brands which are for classes, and the communication would be different for them.
उहाँले एक हिसाबले आफ्नो एनालिसिस दिनुभयो ब्रान्ड नेमको बारेमा, तर अझै पनि हाम्रो नेपाली सोसाइटीमा चाहिँ हैन ब्रान्ड भन्ने बित्तिकै हाम्रो लागि होइन, एउटा जेनरल पब्लिकको लागि होइन, एउटा चाहिँ लो लेभल इन्कम भएको मान्छेको लागि होइन है भन्ने किसिमको चाहिँ माइन्डसेट छ कि छैन?
अनि मेरो विचारमा कमोडिटी प्रोडक्टमा अझै पनि त्यस्तो खालको माइन्डसेट सेमी अर्बन र रुरल कन्टेक्समा होला, तर अर्बन मार्केटमा त्यो अहिले फिजिबलै नभइसक्यो क्या। कुनै पनि तपाईले दोकानमा जानुभयो भने अहिले लुजमा तपाईले सामान पाउन सक्नुहुन्छ? सक्नुहुन्न नि। Generally you don't. I suppose 90% of the goods that you go to purchase, at least in the urban market, Nepalma pani, you know, at this point of time, is branded, right? Therefore, there are brand meant for different class of people. There are brand meant for the mass level as well, which is supposed to be consumed from like lower level, the upper level. Some of them consume many brands. There are some examples that Professor has just cited, you know, and there are certain segmentation in terms of making people feel premium or making people feel better or, you know, like good when they use that particular product. That particularly तपाईले कार गाडी को कुरा गर्यो भने या मोटरसाइकलको कुरा गर्यो भने यो कुराहरु एकदमै लागू हुन्छ।
Even more bigger example is the mobile handset.
Mobile handset, yes.
Carbon, everyone knows, is for the mass. iPhone is for the class.
For the general people.
iPhone is for the class.
We have a local brand called Colors.
Colors,
you know, like which is doing very good.
Very good, and for the mass.
For the mass.
And it doesn't mean Colors is for the mass, so it's an inferior brand. It's not like that, by the way. It's the perception of colors, features of colors, and the investment in colors are done in such a manner that the price is lower and can be addressed to mass. And therefore, because it is being addressed to mass, the communication is of that type. The brand custodian is of, brand, maybe the ambassador will be a different type. But a class brand will have different set of features, different communication, even the ambassador will be different. So there are brands for the masses and brands for the classes. How you communicate is very significant.
A very good example is also Encel, you know, like you see the way the Encel is being used all across the country, you know, by low class, upper class, middle class, you know, business class, everybody, you know, everybody using it for their own purpose. They have their own features and activities.
Professor Chowdhury want to say
oral hygiene, Dabur Sensodyne.
That is in India.
Dabur Sensodyne, Meswak Sensodyne. There are different forms oral hygiene. Use and throw. Cheap, what you call shaving set, and Gillette high-end shaving set. So there are different brands, branding communication.
एउटा कुरा नि हो जस्तो हामीले अब चामलहरुको बारेमा पनि कुरा गरिरहेका छौं हैन कि चामललाई पनि एउटा ब्रान्ड बनाउनु पर्छ। हाम्रो नेपाली नेटिभ प्रोडक्ट्सहरु हुन्छ नि, अब जस्तै ढेडो, गुन्द्रु हैन लगायतका कुराहरु त्यसलाई ब्रान्डिङ गर्न सकिन्छ कि सक्दैन? Can we?
Yes, why not? I suppose there is.
What about the efforts taken?
Yeah, yes.
What about the efforts taken to brand the gundru and dhero or alutama or whatever?
Maybe at this point of time the effort is not been seen so much, but in a longer run there are a lot of opportunity to do so. You know why? Because there are a lot of people now, Nepalese, living outside Nepal.
Right, very good.
And when they are living, you know, like outside Nepal, for them this become a big thing, you know, like this become a premium product. If they can have a gundru or like I say alukatama in New York, there's nothing like it.
Wow.
Therefore, there is an opportunity to brand it as well.
Exactly, handicrafts.
Definitely.
Nepal's handicrafts, India's handicrafts.
Carpet, pashmina.
Carpet,
Yes.
yeah, it has a big possibility of branding globally. And it's happening. I must in this context also say, a great product has to be communicated well to become a brand. Nepal, for example, is a great product as a destination. The branding is required furthermore. How can Nepal be packaged and presented to them? I understand infrastructure, political stability, peace, all these are necessary. These are basic ingredients. But even going beyond, how is Nepal communicated to the world? Communicated to adventure seekers, communicated to religious people, like Buddhists around the world, communicated to pleasure, just
do you have some example in the international market?
Malaysia, biggest good example in nearby
tourism.
Truly Asia. Now Malaysia,
Truly Asia.
Truly Asia.
Definitely.
The much more variety of tourism might be in India, from plains to desert to rivers to sea to Himalayas. Everything is there. In spite of that, and culturally and racially much more diversity.
I guess we are running out of time. So
but Malaysia has become the Asia's example. So branding makes a difference.
At last, do you want to add some more to our audience?
Simply let people actually read Nepal's, in my opinion, first ever book written by a Nepali practitioner of branding and communication on what could be the basic rules or sutra of branding with all examples of
what about Ujjwal, sir?
I suppose, yeah, it will be very nice if people go and purchase this book and see, you know, like read it for themselves and, you know, like give some feedback. That's
and I must also observe, it has been published by Fine Prints, the finest printers, finest publishers of Nepal, Fine Prints, and they come out with 15 titles a year, which is a big number.
Okay, thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you as well. धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दर्शकगण हामीलाई साथ दिनुभयो।